Welcome one, welcome all to Podium eSports' coverage of round number 1 of the Gaming Drift Series 3rd season at the Tokyo Expressway. Top 24 competition has been underway for the last hour or so. We're working our way down to where our broadcast steps in here at the top 12 at Tokyo Expressway. Once again, guys, my name is Chevette. Alongside me tonight is Mr. Arrow HD, otherwise known as Keenan Kusin. I am Ian Plash. This was Scarmuza down in the production booth. He is responsible for all of the flashy graphics you'll be seeing on screen today. And now, Keenan. Yes, we have stepped into multiple endeavors of the drifting esports scene, left, right, and center. This is our first time, dipping our toes into the waters that is Gran Turismo sport. And based on the stuff that I've been seeing so far in Top 24, in a side stream that I've been watching, I think we are in for a pretty good time here, Keenan. You've been doing a little bit of testing with the game itself, and I think you're probably a little more versed than I am when it comes down to the handling of this thus far. What are you really looking forward to when it comes down to what these guys are here going to providing here in the Gaming Drift series? Because man, oh man, I'm seeing some pretty good stuff so far, Keenan.
I mean, first of all, Ian, Gran Turismo Drifting holds a special place in my heart. It's the first game that I ever attempted to do any sort of sim drifting, Gran Turismo 3. I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours on that game. So it was a welcome challenge to pick up GT Sport and try to figure out how to start drifting in this game. I gotta say, coming from the other games that I play on a controller, it was tricky. A lot of that knowledge from other sims and other games did help. But the car does, obviously, Gran Turismo doesn't have that level of adjustability that some other games has, let's say Forza or Assetto Corsa. But there is a lot of great tracks in this game, a fantastic amount of great tracks. Really good car selections, though you're going to see some wacky stuff today, I'm sure. Some stuff that is normal to the GTS guys that maybe you haven't seen before. But the big thing that I found that is a huge deal is just be very careful when you're on power. Sometimes when you get to power, get to the high RPMs, the car just takes off on you. But very, very tricky. And I'm glad to say that, again, I've been watching the same stream that Ian said he was watching. The guys that we have today are surpassing all expectations that I had for the drifting we're going to watch today.
Yeah, Gaming Drift Series has been one of the premier drifting series in the Gran Turismo scene for quite some time now, this being their 3rd season on the scene. And you're going to be seeing some very good stuff. This game is definitely a lot more difficult to drift than it makes to the eye, and it's a completely different meta, a completely different ball game. I'm seeing a lot of different names out there in chat right now who have come from other aspects of the drifting esports scene. I think you guys are in for an absolute treat. Looking at the schedule on your screen now, guys, we are starting here at the Tokyo Expressway, with battles being today on September the 14th, with Autopolis being there round number 2 on October the 12th, Kyoto Driving Park on November 9th, and Blue Moon Bay Infield on December the 7th. Those are the couple rounds that we have here on deck with GDS in their 3rd season. So again, guys, actually, we got a little bit more. I lied. Excuse me. We got Suzuka Circuit East on January the 18th, Scuba Circuit on February 8th, Red Bull Ring on March 7th, Autodrome Majori on April the 4th. Yeah, this is it's a completely different game, Keenan, because you have all of these tracks, all the fictionals like we are going to be seeing here today at Tokyo Expressway. Again, for these guys who've been in the series, this isn't new to them. So like they are very well versed and they know what they're doing here, but I'm very thoroughly excited to see what they have to provide here on the entertainment spectrum here with the Gaming Drift series. Again, guys, they are still working their way through top 24 now. Off to the side, I'm just waiting for the word on their from their admin team rather on Discord, and as soon as we have that, we're going to go ahead and start filing into that top 12 lobby, and our battling action is going to kick off here on stream. So not expecting a ton more minutes till we are really set and ready to go here. As soon as we have more updates, we'll bring them to you. As a matter of fact, they actually have just posted the top 12 lineup here rather, so I can't imagine we're that far away, Keenan, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, me too, Ian. I think the difference today is that these are guys that maybe we haven't seen before, but are some pretty well veterans in this community. So we're gonna have to be not only fans like we normally are, and we have to really take in the information that we're watching here and see how these guys drive, the differences between these drivers. And like you said, a lot of very, very cool tracks on the schedule. I haven't driven on Autopolis in a video game since D1 Grand Prix for the PS2. I'm pretty sure it came out in like 2005. I believe that was an addition recently, like within the past 6 or 8 months to GT Sport with one of those free updates. But today we on Tokyo Expressway. Tokyo Expressway, probably one of the it's one of their best ideas to start this track first round of the season, because it's very flat, no elevation change, which is very tricky in GT Sport, and pretty straightforward. There's nothing that you wouldn't expect. All the clips make pretty well a lot of sense. This top 12 battle format is a little different for those who are used to a 32 and a 16 bracket, but is what we'll be working with today. Again, I keep repeating it. I'm just really, really excited. I've been looking forward to this for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, for as long as we've known that we will be covering the GDS series this year. And just very, very, as you can see, up on the Googletron, basically it is a fictional course based off the highway system in Tokyo. This track includes more so a harbor section, where it'll be consisting of basically there's probably, I think, 5 judging sections, but 4 corners. There is the right-hand initiation, and then the 4 apex left-hand turn, where you're going to be seeing, I think the major areas you're going to be seeing is that white line touch and go. Again, thank you, Cisco Scarmoza, for that fantastic track guide. That looks beautiful. And thank you for your GDS for supplying that as well. But that outer touch and go on the second corner, the second outer zone, is going to be very tricky. You're going to want to be careful with the walls here. This is not a track where you can bash the wall and kind of not suffer consequences. The wall will take some victims today, as we've already seen in the top 24.
All right, well, we are getting word now that our top 12 lobby is getting up and underway. So really quick, we're going to throw it to the demo video so you guys can see in person what you're expecting through all the judging zones. And then we're going to come right back with more drifting action here, as the top 12 is about to kick off and underway just after this quick break. Don't you go anywhere, guys. Gaming Drift Series round number 1 at Tokyo Expressway will return in just a few short moments.
of smoke. Breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you. And the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control.
All right, we are back, and as you're going to be seeing on screen in just a couple of short seconds, we have our first battle set and ready to go here for round number 1 of the Gaming Drift Series 3rd season at the Tokyo Expressway. That is going to be Brisks in the lead and Dodd in chase. Again, guys, this is our first time with a lot of these guys, so I'm going to be apologizing in advance for any butchered names for the time being, but we'll get into the flow of things here very, very soon. Cars are set and ready to go on this grid, just waiting on admins to go ahead and kick it over. We're going to get this thing rolling and underway.
Quick correction. Brisk will be in a Group 3 AMG, and Dodd, I believe, is also in a Group 3 Viper.
All right, cars are then rolling. This is a 40-mile-per-hour roll, unlike the usual 50 that we are accustomed to here at Podium eSports. Regardless, here we go. First battle of top 12 and round number 1. There's the initiation for the AMG in the lead. Viper in chase. Trying his best to chase him down. Definitely running a little bit wide from his inside clips as you're seeing on screen. Oh, really charging deep into that decel zone, trying to get in on the door. Really starting to make a bit of a gap at the end of this run, however. That AMG showing pretty good for herself. A couple little bobbles here and there, but all in all, there was a decent gap shown. The Viper not quite able to close in the gap.
No, Ian, I believe it just might even be the fault of the lead. Just it really didn't give him a chaseable run in the first half of that battle. Completely missed the inner zone. Just didn't look comfortable at the line. Cleaned it all up for the second half of his run, but the Viper just looked nervous. Almost didn't look like he knew when he was going to have to start charging or not.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of mistakes being shown, as you can be seeing on the replay for the lead in Brisk. Just running it a little bit wide through those first two inner clips. And the Viper really not taking the opportunity to charge, or kind of a wonky decel in the decel zone. Maybe a little bit of a over decel for Brisk in the lead, really yanking on the handbrake hard to correct and not slam into that wall. From that point on, the Viper just really not able to close in the gap. As a result, they definitely see the lack of proximity being a fault of the lead in the judges' eyes.
Yeah, you see these guys change positions like you are accustomed to. Viper in the lead with all those Swedish flags all over it. And Brisk representing Team Monji in the Mercedes. We'll be giving chase.
And they'll go ahead and switch them around this time. The Viper in the lead, AMG in chase. Dodd gonna need to do a little bit better of a better lead for him, and he sees himself in a pretty good position here with the mistakes with AMG and the initiation of the Viper. He's gonna run it pretty deep into the first corner, recovers it nicely, brings it down to the clip. Contact being made. AMG charging a little bit hard, runs into the back bumper of the Viper. I don't know if the Viper was decelling at that point, but it looks like maybe just a bit of a misjudge for the chase in Brisk. He's not really able to get it on the door and runs into the back bumper.
Yeah, Brisk just looked like maybe, again, we're not the judges here, ladies and gentlemen, but looked like he maybe just got a little bit over aggressive. The Viper looked like he was really big, nasty transition from that Viper, actually, very quick. Just looked like he transitioned a little bit late, didn't really give him the line, and it looks like judges are going to agree and give Dodd the win. Dodd and the Viper are going to be advancing on in your competition today, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Dodd is going to be given the win. Too many mistakes in the lead and chase for the AMG to overcome. That's going to see Lee Dodd advancing to the next round of competition. He is the winner of our first round of 12 battle at the Tokyo Expressway. Again, guys, my name is Ian Plash. Keenan Kusen alongside me today to bring you all of the exciting extras of Scaramuza, making the production happen for you guys in Twitch land. Thank you so much for all of your continued support for Podium eSports. We appreciate seeing you all out and giving your support for this brand new series to us over here on Twitch. So we got the next battle lined up, set and ready to go. I believe this is going to be Car versus Manji Car as the second battle of top 12.
Yeah, we're seeing another one of those AMGs. Team Manji look like they're out in full force with Team Mercedes. Gonna be warming those front tires up. We have a Wardhouse-inspired Lexus.
Yeah, it looks like actually, and I need a correction here, it looks like those guys are going to be coming up next. There looks to be another battle on the line. That is Spawn Fury versus the Z4 of, trying to get that figured out who exactly that is. Yeah, that's going to be Zoo Ransom in the lead. So, correction.
All BMW battle as well.
Yep, Z4 versus
GT3 Z4, GT4 BMW M4.
Yep, so off the line, then a little bit of a gap being shown, but the other car in chase is going to go ahead and take this opportunity to close in. Spawn Fury in chase and off of the 40 roll. Big gap being shown off the line. Z4 really taking off into the sunset, running a little bit wide in the first clip. Is going to allow the chase driver to bring it right back in. Huge flick for the lead driver and lots of angle being poured in for the second half of the course. Looks like Fury is just not really able to settle into his zone. Kind of got phased a little bit off the jump. And man, that is a lot of style for the lead. Good run up in front for Zoo Ransom.
Oh, Ransom just put on a clinic there. Like I said, guys, I've been doing a little bit of practice in my own spare time. From what I could do, that kind of angle and that transition and then that aggressiveness, not possible. He did get a little bit wide on turn one, but the BMW or the M4 charged a little bit too little too late. Really big lack of angle. Really cut the first sort of double apex right-hander. Got to imagine that Z4 is in an advantage here. Not sure why the M4 didn't try to restart. They do have a restart marker, so I'm not sure why he didn't try to restart. There was a huge gap, but they will be switching positions, and we're going to have the Z4 leading, or the Z4 chasing, and Spawn Fury is going to be in the lead position.
Yeah, after that mistake on the turn one inside clip, the door was absolutely wide open for Fury to make up for the mistakes being shown by, not being on the door for the start of the battle, when he just kind of didn't fall into his own. He really didn't settle and wasn't able to find his way back into the door of that lead driver and Zoo Ransom. Now they're going to switch it around. Spawn Fury will be leading, and Ransom will be chasing this BMW versus BMW battle. And off of the line, onto our 40 roll. So Spawn Fury leading this time. Gonna have to find a way to overcome the shortcomings of his chase. Proximity a lot closer this time on the initiation. Runs it a little bit deep, missing the second inside clip, but a big flick into that third one. But no! Angles, D-cells, spins it around. It looks like he was maybe a little bit late on that transition and over-angled as a result. Replay will be coming pretty soon. I would imagine this is an easy judging decision. Both cars are gonna go ahead and finish it out regardless for the formality. But it looks like Fury just got a little too over-aggressive in the lead.
Fury already sitting on a deficit, and unfortunately, Ian just looked like he was trying to make up some points with the judges, and there it is. Ransom, we're going to be getting the win, an absolute masterclass in that lead position. We're going to be seeing him move on into competition in that GT3 BMW Z4. Good looking car as well. Just like, again, like the M4 just looked like it rotated a little bit too much. And like I said in the top of our broadcast, you get into that wall, especially that wall, you get in that wall, it's game over. It is not, you have to really be gentle when it comes to contact with that wall.
Yep, and next up we're going to be having then Ant Car versus Manji Car. I think this time they are the ones who are set and ready to go, and yes, you'll be seeing them warming them up just now, getting ready and set to go for our third battle of your top 12 action.
Yep, you're going to be seeing these guys. Interesting way I guess there's not a whole lot of room in this area of the track to warm your tires up. So they're doing little burnouts, brake, locking their front brakes, making sure their front and rear tires are warm. Again, grip and drifting just as important. And these guys on a comfort compound as well.
All right, so that Wardhouse Lexus in the lead. That is Ant Car in the lead versus Manji Car in the chase. Car versus car, vehicle versus vehicle, vehicular battle going on here at Tokyo Expressway. Wide for Ant-Man. That is going to be a clean overtake and chase for Manji Car. Gets around Ant-Man, just checks off into the sunset. Looks like Ant Car not going to completely fall off, but yeah, definitely run it wide. And we actually saw a very similar situation happen earlier in 24, where it looks like Ant Car was just maybe pushing a little too hard into one. Pushes it out wide, but this time looks like the car passed. It didn't have a shutdown after completing the pass, and that should be a massive advantage for Manji Car in that chase position.
Yes, and we saw the exact same thing in top 24 competition, where I believe Ant Car was. I very apologize. I don't remember the gamer tag of the driver or the PSN of the driver.
Is it RB30 DET?
Yeah, RB30 S13, something along those lines. Ended up getting the overtake, but ended up hitting that outside wall, and it ended up zeroing out and actually gave Ant Car the win. Ant Car, unfortunately, not learning from their mistakes, and Manji Car able to take that Mercedes and power right past that Lexus. And we're going to have to see a run and a half from Ant Car right now to make up for that mistake.
Yeah, there is the old saying, when you know you're in a massive deficit and you're in chase, you absolutely need to pour on the pressure. You don't apply the pressure. You don't kind of lightly suggest the pressure. You pour on the pressure. You get it on the door. Try to make that forced error in the lead position and maybe get something working out in your favor. Both these drivers back on the line and off the line already. Second half of this battle is underway with Manji Car now leading and Ant Car in that chase position.
Building up the revs there. Car on the left. And there they go. And you're going to have the Mercedes in the lead here. Really timid entry. Just almost straight lining there. Ant Car really having to grab a lot of that curb to be able to catch up to him. Going into the final hairpin here. Right on the door is Ant Car putting the pressure to the Mercedes. Jay's going a little bit wide, maybe doing a little bit of contact right on the quarter panel as they cross the line.
Oh, you could see Ant Car absolutely wanting to go for that pass on the inside on that last inner clip. Looks like Manji Car was starting to go wide, and Ant Car was like, oh, this is my chance, this is my chance. But then Manji brings it right down cleanly and completely blocks off the pass. And that deficit might be far too much to overcome. Judges are still going to be looking at it to try to figure out the correct decision on that one, but replays on the screen, as you can tell. He absolutely wanted that pass. He was absolutely shoving it down on the inside there, Keaton, but the door was absolutely slammed by Manji Car.
Yeah, didn't really have a lot of choice in his position. When you're sitting on a deficit like that, in your mind, the only way you're going to be able to make it up is to force a large mistake like the one that he made. It looked like maybe there was a hair of contact between the two cars there on the last part of that last corner. Not sure how sensitive these cars are to contact, but if sport mode is anything to go off it, doesn't take a lot. It just looked like maybe like a hair of a tap.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. The judges are deliberating. And again, guys, this is the Gaming Drift Series, unlike the graphic you were seeing on screen for the Esports Drift Association. Apologies on that one. We are the Gaming Drift Series today here for round number 1 at Tokyo Expressway. Judges still deliberating on this. They think they might have a talking point or two to try to figure out here. Maybe just trying to decipher if Manji Car's lead, or his pass rather, was legal.
And there it is, Ian. Manji Car is going to be getting the win. That Mercedes AMG GT3 is going to be moving on for Team Manji. A great job from him. He dealt with the pressure from that Lexus pretty well, all things considered. He's going to be putting himself into the next round of competition. We have I hope you like Team Manji, because we have another Team Manji member. Manji MSR going to be up against Madden Van Venom. MSR in the lead, Venom giving chase.
Yeah, this livery on the AMG is getting pretty familiar to us, needless to say, Keenan.
Making me think it's probably a pretty strong chassis, all things considered. Again, we do see it in stuff like the manufacturer series for Gran Turismo, the official racing series. Mercedes is always strong. I believe they just won the Manufacturers Cup, actually, the last event in New York. That might be coming into play here. Again, a lot of guys who are new to Gran Turismo, they are running not on what we would call a sport tire. They're running on a comfort hard tire. So a very hard pedestrian tire is almost what you would say. These tires are not forgiving. They are very difficult, in my experience, to drive around. Don't produce a whole lot of smoke. Again, that's probably why everything looks a little bit slower than what you're used to. But it is the drifting compound for this series. It is a spec comfort hard rear, and basically run whatever you want up front. But from what I've been told, you pretty well want to run the same compound front and rear. But we've been getting these guys changed out here. I believe someone was just joining in. The beauty of Gran Turismo, Ian. They have basically you join and leave. So we just wait for the new guys to join, pull up to the line, they run their battle, they leave. We get the new 2 guys to join, pull up to the line, battle, they leave.
Yeah, it's definitely speeding up the flow of things, isn't it?
Yes, everything. Like half of running tournaments is just waiting for lobbies to start and finish. So they're flying through their top 12 here.
Man, that's really, really good to see. So next up on the line, I believe that we have the other Manji teammate and Manji MSR going up against Madden Venom.
Can you see him in the SLR McLaren as well? Looking like most of Team Manji switched from that Ferrari to the GT3 Mercedes last minute. Again, Venom, one of the guys we're seeing here that's running an actual street car instead of one of those GT3 or Group 3 cars.
Yeah, curious to see how it stacks up. Both these drivers are going to have a really good comparison between that street and GT style car. That Group 3 AMG has been pretty strong so far. What does a street version of said manufacturer have in that chase position, Keenan?
We're about to find out. Didn't really work out too well for the Lexus, unfortunately, but we'll see if Madden can do anything different here. Both technically, big wide for the Manji. The Manji driver MSR in the lead, but really no chase taking advantage there. Really want to see him try to close that gap. Is he going to have a tire off? Does look like he does. Big angle. Good job from the lead car to hold that. And the SLR McLaren really closing into that second half of the run. But that first half, the door was open, Ian. He just didn't feel like coming inside.
Yeah, it seems like the AMG in the lead was maybe not giving a ton of angle for the first half of the course, not really, maybe allowing chase to close in. We're going to see on the replay just to see exactly what happened. But yeah, a little bit wide on that initiation. Door was definitely open, but Madden Van Venom just really not able to close in on that section. Just a ton of speed in the lead for Manji MSR. And yeah, the tire does go over that white line on the right-hand side of the course. And anything beyond that white line is a deduction. So some points off the table for MSR, needless to say, running wide in multiple portions of the course, Keenan.
Yep, just really expected the charge from the McLaren there, but again, that could just be a speed difference in the car choice. And again, that's a really good example from that camera angle, Ian. These cars don't have a lot of lock. They do not have a lot of steering lock, so you're not going to be seeing, the big entries or big angles that we expect. But that is just making it a little bit all the more impressive that you have these guys doing this with like no front lock at all and pulling angle and smoothness like that.
Yeah, considering the angle they're pulling as well, that is just absolute commitment, not having that steering lock to lean on, needless to say. This has been pretty exciting so far. The second half of this battle is now getting set and underway. Wheel spin off the line for the lead driver.
Oh my God.
At that angle into turn one, the AMG is going to charge in turn, potentially over-angling and slowing down maybe a little too much, but man, that was a ton of style up in that lead position and lots of ground to be gained at the end as a result in chase. Goodness me, that was the sauce applied on initiation.
I'm a Madden fan. I am now a Madden fan. Madden is my new favorite driver. I've just decided. Absolutely. I don't know if he thought he was sitting on a deficit there. That's just how he drives that car. Big boy angle. And like we said, we were just talking about, there is no 60 degrees, 80 degrees, of steering lock. This is all absolutely stock lock. And I can tell you that angle like that is very difficult to pull off. So excellent job from Madden. Again, Manji trying to capitalize on that first corner, but a little bit of contact. I wonder how the judges are going to view that. They're going to view that as an over angle from the SLR, causing this the lack of speed, or they're going to view that as a mistake on the chase for being too over aggressive. Ian, what do you think about it in your eyes?
It's going to be tough to say. I think that the line that Madden was running with all that angle didn't look like it was overslowed. He definitely made that second inner clip and was able to transition and keep going, albeit with a little bit of a boop in the chase to kind of push along that speed, needless to say. It's kind of difficult to say. Honestly, it's one of these situations where I'm glad I'm not a judge in the situation and I'm just a commentator, because that was a lot of fun to watch and it was to say, but all in the end of the day, there has to be a decision made, and it's going to be a really tough one to call here, Keenan.
I want to say the beauty again, just talking about what people, some people are mentioning, answering some questions. The beauty of there not being a lot of tire smoke, at least in the multiplayer, is that we know when that lead car is on power. And from what I saw, it wasn't like he had entered and then just let the car coast. He looked like he was on power. That lead car, the Madden, looked like he was on the throttle at the time that contact was made.
All right, Madden Van Venom is going to be given the win.
That entry won him that whole battle.
I gotta believe so. It looks like he just maybe got a little too aggressive in the chase position and kind of plows in the door. I believe Madden may have been able to continue it on, and the judges are going to be able to be in agreement with my opinion there. And that is going to be Madden Von Venom advancing from round of 12. Moving on then to your next battle. This is Opiolu. I believe that's how you say your name. Versus Jalinder, and I believe that's how we say your name. Once again, I apologize, guys. This is our first time seeing many of these guys. They're both already on the line, getting set and ready to go.
Probably not how they say their name, but I'm sure they'll let us know.
And with the Z4 then in the lead, that C7 Corvette in chase. This is going to be one of the final battles of top 12, moving right along with the flow of things. That Z4 in the lead is going to get off that 40 roll and onto the throttle in the chase. The C7 losing out for sure. Big flick in the lead for the Z4 Opiolu. Hitting all the clips beautifully, not closing in the proximity and chase. Unfortunately, it's Jalinder, but Rui starts to get aggressive in the second half, and oh my goodness, Keenan, look at all of that angle for the Z4 in the lead.
Look at the proximity from the Corvette, though, Ian.
Corvette brings it in for the second half of the course, getting aggressive in on the door and checking on the brakes here and there. That Corvette seems to have quite a bit of grip and was able to close up on the second half of the battle. Good style for the lead driver, and Opiolu too as well, though.
Yeah, but honestly, Ian, I think one of the best battles we've seen all day. That Z4 definitely, I think, has at least at this track, has an advantage. Everyone we've seen drive that car, very stylish, very good angle. But that Corvette right there with them, maybe a little bit of wavering in the second half of the last corner. I'm seeing these guys switch up here. BMW versus Chevrolet. I feel like you would be personally biased to the Chevrolet with your name and all.
I mean, yes and no. So both drivers then working their way around. And I am really liking seeing the Z4 though out in troves here in GDS. It's not a car that's seen very often, the drift scene from our neck of the woods at least. It's a lot of fun seeing some different chassis making their way out into drift. This time both drivers are going to be switching them around. Jalinder will be leading and Chase will be Opiol. Now I gotta ask both of them eventually how we exactly say their names properly here.
I think you're pretty close. Close.
I feel like I'm there. Both drivers then are gonna start rolling. C4 and Chase, C7 in the lead. Oh, absolutely lighting up those rear tires off the line. And there is the initiation for that Corvette. Huge angle of proximity. All over the door in Chase is Opiol. Really getting aggressive in on the door. Lots of angle for both drivers. A bit of a line cut for Jalinder in the lead. Is going to lose out on some line score. And oh my goodness, that proximity in Chase. Keenan. Opiol making his presence felt.
Team 666 came to play. They are not taking any prisoners, and they are dragging their competition down to hell. That was the best chase and the most consistent chase we've seen all day. Not to take anything away from Jalinder, big angle in that Corvette, taking advantage of that long wheelbase, but the Z4 right on the quarter panel, then moving right in door to door on the last part of that run, Ian, and maybe a tire drop from the Corvette in the lead. Actually, we won't even have to think about it. Judges impressed so far. Opiol gets the win. moving on in competition, I want to say that Corvette was no slouch, but OPL just wanted it more.
That was an impressive chase. Needless to say, I was absolutely thrilled to see that aggressive driving in the chase. OPL really making it felt, really trying to show that he is not here to mess around, absolutely pushing forward his agenda in top 12. He'll be moving on to then your top 6, taking down one of the drivers who I thought was actually pretty strong in 24 competition. But goodness me, I guess it probably was because I didn't pay attention to OPLU at all and maybe missed out on that battle earlier. That driver, super, super aggressive.
Yeah, he's going to be riding that momentum all the way through the rest of the bracket. Again, Ian, not only was it an excellent lead, but probably one of the most consistent chases that I've seen so far. Speaking of Corvettes, we got another one here pulling out on track.
Yeah, actually getting word that this is going to be a buy run. Looks like, I believe his competition was supposed to be NBZ Veros, I believe was the name of him. Once again, guys, very bad with the pronunciations, and we do apologize greatly. We can get down to the bottom of it before the end of the season, I get that feeling. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be, once again, I'm going to be butchering more names here. Sizem? How do you say your name there? Regardless, he's going to be given the buy run. He's going to go ahead. He's going to be given the buy run in the C7 Corvette, working his way down to the course to just go ahead and just do it, just to say, hey, it's done. But this is going to be the last air quotes battle of your top 12. Already moving it right on along. We don't have a whole lot of battles left to go, Keenan. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more battles remaining after this buy run.
Yep, just really looking forward to this. All he has to do, Ian, is put down a run, any run. Doesn't have to be good. In middle of the track, just stay right in the middle of the track. Don't take risks. Really easy entry there, not getting overly aggressive. A lot of camera in the front of that car. Big flick. That's what I'm saying. Those aggressive entries, those aggressive flicks is where you're going to see a lot of the good drivers separate from the bad, painting that white line, and then going to be powering out to that wall. Excellent buy run. Unfortunately, you do, in any sort of online competition, you are going to have people that miss the mark. And unfortunately for the Corvette driver, whose name I've refused to pronounce, he will be moving on, and that will be everything for our top 12, Ian.
Yep, that is going to be it. We have your top 6 coming up next. Again, guys, this is a different format compared to what you usually see in here. How this is going to be working out, we'll have a little bit of downtime. I will go ahead and then explain it to you. We have 3 battles in your top 6, obviously. The winners of that will then be going on to your final 3, and I believe the highest qualified driver automatically gets placed into the final of those 3, and then the 2 lowers will then be fighting for what is essentially going to be who gets in third. The loss of that battle will take third, and the person who gets second will advance to face your highest seeded driver who makes it into the top 3. So again, guys, not a whole lot of battles left to go, but we got some really good quality drivers set here in the remaining 6. Keenan, this has been absolutely delivering so far.
Yes, Ian, so far so good. Very smooth. Everything's running pretty smoothly. And again, like I said, these guys are pretty well the top of hard habit to break. These guys are the top of Gran Turismo drifting, and we're really seeing it. And again, I had a little bit more experience. No offense, but I had a little bit more experience with this than you did. And what these guys are doing is not easy. Even if you do have all that past knowledge and all that, like drifting is drifting, right? To pull this angle that I'm seeing here and these aggressive transitions is difficult is not the word. So the fact that you have these guys not even just doing it, but consistently, and then you have people like Madden with a big angle with no steering lock at all, like that's nutty to me. So I'm already thoroughly impressed, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, these drivers are absolutely up there on the commitment scale, needless to say, because when you have all those high steering locks, 60+ degrees of angle on the front steering rack, it makes it so easy to recover from things like that. When you don't have the steering angle to boot, and you absolutely chuck it in like that, that's commitment. That's basically completely relying on momentum of your car and the line you are taking, and then just knowing that you practice and you know what you are doing. And that's what it really comes down to. It's not the steering lock that's pulling these guys out. It's just the straight up commitment and knowledge of the cars that these guys are running. Very, very exciting to see. We already have your first top 6 battle pulling up to the line. This is going to be Zoo Ransom going up against Madden Van Venom as your first top 6 battle.
Let's go. Let's go, my new favorite guy. Let's go. I'm going to put all my Canadian pesos on Venom. All 4 of them.
This is all you then. Go ahead and put your Canadian pesos on the line here. This is your call.
All right, Ransom in the lead. Venom, Madden giving chase. We've seen Ransom do some cool stuff in that BMW, but he's got Madden following him through now. Good entry from the BMW. Oh, maybe a little bit of a shortcut. Transition running across the bumper of that Z4. Right on him. Gonna need to close up a little bit though. Then he does, right in the pocket. Very smooth lead so far. A little bit of a correction as I say that. Going across the line. I don't want to say even, but I would give like half a point if we're doing old D1 style, like 5.5 to 4.5 for Madden. But I don't want to take away from Ransom's lead because that was excellent as well. But big angle, make a nice consistent angle on that first corner.
Yeah, it looks like Zoo Ransom was really only struggling to meet some of the inner clips throughout the course. He was there. He had the car in the correct ballpark, but really just not putting it on that curb, not getting really aggressive and down on those lines. But still very smooth and fluid, needless to say. That was a very solid run and a great chase as well for Madden Van Venom. This Germany versus Russia battle. It's going to go ahead and both these drivers switching them around for the second half.
Yep, gonna think that this is where Madden's going to be in. This is his wheelhouse, is that lead run.
Now Zoo Ransom, he seems to be pretty quick. Madden Van Venom really has been pouring on the style. So this conflict of styles may be interesting to see how it pans out. If Madden gets really aggressive on initiation, is Ransom ready for it?
Oh, little. And there it is. Big angle, but he's right there. Oh, a little bit of a straighten. Going to be transitioning the second part of the corner. Madden's got a bit of a lead, but that Z4 is closing the gap. A little bit wide from that Mercedes as the BMW closes the gap. Can he get to the door? Can he get to the door? Not quite. Good recovery from Ransom. But big angle in that SLR. We have found our style guy.
Zoo Ransom absolutely got smoked on that initiation. He wanted it. He was there.
He was with him for a little bit.
And then he straightens out there, just not really able to match that angle for Madden Van Venom in the lead position. And he really loses out on maybe it's the second sector of the course, you would like to say. Closes in nicely for the remainder of that battle, but unfortunately, that bobble, when you compare what happened in the other battle, run number 1, might be a little bit of a deficit then for the second half for Zoo Ransom as well in his chase. Lead for lead, chase for chase. You gotta remember, that's how we judge him out. Still waiting on the result. Judges are gonna be looking this one over. This was definitely the closest battle we've had so far, needless to say.
Yeah.
Comparing both runs, run number 1 and run number 2.
This is tough. This is tough. Like you said, there was that bobble from the Z4 in his chase, but Venom wasn't really as present on the first half. So there is a lot of stuff that that kind of evens out when it comes to, he made this mistake, he made this mistake, and really shortcutting that first corner was Venom in his chase run as well. So it's not like it is a clean sweep like his last battle, Venom's last battle was. Ransom really putting up a fight here. I believe Ransom's only real mistake was that little bit of understeer in turn 1. Great job for him to correct that and gather all up and make something of his follow run as well. But in terms of Venom, looked like Venom had moments where he was extremely brilliant, and then moments of Ransom would have liked to see a little bit more out of him, but he was much more consistent throughout. So it really is going to come down to the judge's opinion.
The judges are giving us a really good opinion. OMT has been called one more time, our first one more time of this tournament. And I think that was a very fitting way to put down to one more time. They're going to go ahead and give the drivers the option to change tires if they want. Don't know what we're going to be doing on as far as the next course of action as we may move on to the next battle while we wait. both of these drivers to grab tires. But needless to say, one more time has been called after a very exciting battle.
Yeah, Ian, you know what? The more I repeated it, the more I was kind of talking about the differences in their runs. It made sense that a one more time was going to be the right call. But we're going to have our next battle on deck here with Sazim. I'm going to go Sazim. If we both pronounce it differently, we cover more ground.
There you go. I like it.
That makes sense? Perfect. We've got another Z4 here. This is my favorite one of the bunch so far, with probably the follow run of the day.
Yeah, curious to see then. This will be the first time we've seen on stream Sism getting his opportunity to get a battle. See how that speed stacks up against one of the more aggressive chase drivers we have seen so far today in Opiolu. Off the 40 roll. Here we go. Both drivers lining up those rear tires, putting them in gear and initiating. A little bit shallow of initiation of Corvette, and into the back bumper is Opiolu. I don't know if it was because Sesame Disrule wasn't able to get the handbrake applied and poured the angle on or what, but definitely a judge in contention point. Getting very aggressive on that proximity in the back half of the run as well. Trying to close in for the end of the run, needless to say, but definitely give me some points of contention for that initiation.
Ian, looked like we may have seen a tire over the line from that Corvette in his lead position over that white line. Again, I did tell you it was going to be an issue or a contention point, especially when we get down to the nitty-gritty here of these finals. But the main talking point from that battle is going to be the source of that contact. Was that on the lead car, or was that Oplo? That was even close. Was that on Opiolu? The BMW. Was that on the BMW for getting a little bit too aggressive? Because we did see really aggressive driving from him.
It kind of looks like the Corvette poured on the angle earlier, at least maybe just that little feint to start an initiation, and then suddenly out of nowhere, it just didn't pour on the angle like it was expected. Needless to say, judges will need to talk about it.
And switching positions. The BMW in the lead. Oplu in lead. Scissorman giving chase. I need a cheat sheet for these name tags. Big angle for the BMW. They're gonna over-rotate. No! Maybe we'll be able to gather all up. Definitely phasing the Corvette a little bit of the wall. We're gonna see a straighten up from the BMW. That's gonna cause the Corvette to short. Two tires off. Is the Team 666 driver. Unfortunately, really big moments of brilliance. Ian, I think we're seeing consistency being rewarded here against these stylish drivers. But if this is the end of Opiolu's run, I want to say that she went out with a fight.
Yeah, we're really going to come down to what the judges are going to be weighing as fault for both. Definitely maybe just getting a little too saucy with it. Now it's an instant call. Sism given the win. You'll be advancing to the next round of competition. Opiolu is going to be seeing her way.
You do it better than me. You do
unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they were okay. And then as soon as they got in that wall, maybe just a little bit of nerves, and then overshot. And at least in Gran Turismo, what I found that once you start making a mistake, it is very hard to correct. Like if you're overshooting, if you're going wide, it's very hard to just tap the brake because the front end's just going to want to come around, or the back end's just going to come around. So may have just been overshooting, and at that point, you're just a passenger.
So this is going to be your next battle of top 6. This is going to be Zoo Ransom versus Madden Van Venom. This is actually the OMT, rather, excuse me. OMT battle between these two drivers. Definitely a very close and exciting battle earlier on in the going. Let's see what they're going to have this time for the first OMT of the competition. There's the initiation up in the lead for Zoo Ransom. Lots of angle and definitely pouring in on proximity and chase is Madden Van Venom. Starting to lose out going into this crate section on the back half of the course. Straightening out a little bit as well in chase and just not able to keep it lockstep in the door, but getting there for proximity at the end. Matching the tire tracks, but kind of fading in and out, back and forth through the entirety of that battle and chase.
Again, Ian, much like we saw before, we had moments of brilliance, and then moments where not necessarily making a mistake, just not as good as the rest of the run. But from that BMW, that Z4 of Zoo Ransom, other than maybe being a little bit off that second inner clip, fantastic, consistent, and fluid lead run. Did everything he needed to do from that lead position. Madden just needed to be a little bit closer and a little bit more fluid with his follow. But his wheelhouse, as we've said before, is his lead positions. But now, this time, Zoo is ready. Ransom's ready.
Switching them around. Second half of this battle, Madden has been throwing down, as you have been mentioning, some of the most stylish leads we have seen so far. Gotta believe this time the calibration will be taken into effect in Chase. Maybe he's gonna learn from the mistakes last time and maybe not get terribly aggressive on initiation, maybe closing that gap later. These drivers very smart battlers, very smooth and consistent as well. What's gonna happen in the second half? And there is that angle in the lead position. Touching a little bit of curb on inside clip number 1 and a little bit of curb on inside clip 3 as well. Not really there.
Who are you, dude?
Chase, unfortunately, really trying to close in for the second half of this battle, though, getting really aggressive into the proximity on the door, but Man of Venom very smooth up in the lead position. A couple of tire drops on the curbs to be noted, however, but really not as a feisty of a chase as you were expecting this time.
Flashing the lights. Probably my favorite lead run of the day from a spectator point of view, Ian. Flick entry, burning the tires right after that 40 roll ended. Very aggressive flicks and very fluid big angle. Again, that's going to come with that longer wheelbase. But Ransom right there, and I believe Ransom was a lot closer and more consistently close in his follow run. You know, profiting off the fact that that lead car is, you know, pulling more angle, maybe a little bit slower as a result. Again, lead car not supposed to be on the rumble strips. I don't even know that the rumble strips was painted. But not supposed to be on those. That's more so, again, if you watched ESD Suzuka last week. It's an area for the chase car to maybe gain some time. But fantastic job from both these guys. Definitely two different driving styles, and it's very apparent in their in both their runs.
And Madden Van Venom is going to be awarded the win, and he'll be seeing himself into the final 3. Madden Van Venom is given the win. Potentially, it might have been the lead difference there. It had to have been with the inconsistencies in Chase. You would like to believe, but Madden Van Venom working hard in his leads, throwing down some of the best style we have seen all day long, Keenan.
Yeah, again, Ian, if I think he would have put down a similar run to Ransom, we would have been having a different conversation here. I think we would have seen another BMW move on. But that flick entry right on the wall, very big angle, and not even just big angle, but consistent angle, which is not easy to do at all. I think that was the nail in the coffin for Ransom. Ransom just didn't really needed to do something a little bit more exciting. He kind of just was consistent, and unfortunately that wasn't enough. Do you hear something? Ian, do you hear something?
Wait, might it be that time? Is it that time, Keenan? Is there a friend that needs to join us? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to
I have roommates, they have questions.
This is our weekly trivia here on Podium eSports, guys. The rules are very simple and are as follows. Employees and contractors of Podium eSports LLC are not eligible, and only the first response from participants shall be counted. 1 response per person on any broadcast. Any responses after first will be deleted in chat if we get around to it. First person to guess right earns a virtual cookie from us over here at Podium eSports and a big tip of the hat for your general knowledge.
Virtual cookie of their choosing.
Virtual cookie of their choosing. If you choose raisin, though, there is something wrong with you. The question goes as follows, ladies and gentlemen. How many manufacturers were featured in the original Gran Turismo? How many individual manufacturers were featured in the original Gran Turismo? That is GT1, way back in the day. I remember playing
I'll give a bonus
game.
point. I'll give a bonus point to anyone who can get the year it came out. I'll give him a smooch on the cheek.
Again, guys, first person to get that question right in chat earns a virtual cookie of their choosing from us here at Podium eSports.
Oatmeal raisin is acceptable. Don't let Ian bully you.
So both the drivers are already set and lined up, ready to go.
1998 is correct, so you get the smooch. But can we...
They're getting there. Oh, someone was really close there in chat.
I mean, the correct answer is not a lot.
Not a lot would be the correct answer. Yes.
For the time, yeah, it was.
So while everyone is deliberating, we're going to go ahead and then let these drivers continue on the battling action. You guys continue your Google searching, and we'll come back to it. Person who gets that question right will earn that virtual cookie from us here at
Ian.
Podium eSports.
If you look at the track, it's the same but different.
Same but different. Lee Dodd versus, I believe, that is Manji Carr as your last final 6 battle.
And we have Carr trying to avenge the death of his teammate, with Dodd going to be in the lead position in that Viper. Not sure if the Viper has that speed advantage that you would expect it to.
Oh, official Samuel Braun, congratulations. Oh, no, you were incorrect. That is Manji MSR. You are the winner of the virtual cookie. Correct guess with 11. 11 was the answer. Here we go for the final 6 battle between Lee Dodd and Manji Carr in chase. Getting very aggressive.
Oh, no.
That Viper pushing a little bit wide and straightening out. Maybe getting a little too over-angled on that second inner clip and has to reinitiate for that third inner, unfortunately. Trying to get the angle and style on for the rest of the course. A little bit of a boop and chase as well for Manji Carr, trying to push Lee Dodd through the course.
Oh, he's a little angry.
Oh, that was an angry battle. The Viper up front just does not being smooth. I don't think he made an over angle between clip 1 and clip number 2. And Manji Carr absolutely pushing into the door, and just that really weird, almost a wise fab crab going up to inner clip number 3 as you were watching that. The replay cycles back around. Lee Dodd really kind of chugging on along there up in that lead position. Judges will have a lot to talk about here for sure. That could have been a punt. I could be completely wrong.
That first corner looked like a yeet, and then the Viper just couldn't transition. Get in the second half of the course. I don't know if Carr was knowing they were sitting on a deficit and trying to get on the door. Maybe we do see a little bit of wiggle from the Viper with that second point of contact. You know what I like? You know what I like about this one? Talking points. There's things going on in the background that we don't quite understand at the moment.
There are debates being had. We are on the street of debates.
Excuse me,
along
this
the
is Twitch.
sidewalk of chat.
It took me a minute.
Switch him around. Manji Carr, we leading. Lead Dodd, we chasing Keenan.
I can't.
So Manji Carr in the lead, flicks that initiation, gets aggressive on the angle, kind of shells off with clip number 1, but does nicely for clip number 2. Big flick, definitely shelling out the angle, and heavy piece of contact into the outside wall, completely what would have been ripping off the rear bumper if you see what's been happening over at Texas. Manji running it wide for that inner clip, but does not get past. Lead Down wanted the pass, absolutely shoves into the door, but mistakes for both drivers' leads. Now we definitely have contention points here, Keenan.
Yeah, man, you can see the Viper looking. He was looking. Never ended up going for that overtake, which I think was the right call. But man, this could go any way now, Ian. Ian could go one more time. Just looks like that Mercedes up in the lead, the AMG, didn't get the angle that he was looking for. And that ended up pushing him wide into the wall, door wide open for Le Dodd. I tried to pronounce that in French. It just sounded worse.
Excuse me.
The door open for Le Dodd to try to gain in some proximity. Yeah, we got it, production. We already called it out. Yeah, we got it. It's all good.
Yeah, MSR was the winner. Manji MSR, I believe.
Manji MSR with the correct answer.
Yep.
You know what? Two cookies. Apparently gets 2.
Yep. Oh, and they're going to be giving Lee Dodd the win.
Yeah.
Maybe faulting the contact in the lead to be Chase. Yes.
When you look at that run again, if you weren't paying attention, there was contact with the wall, but it looked like there was 2 over the inner clip.
Oh, you are absolutely right.
If not 2, there was 1 3/4.
All right. So
on the lead, yes, on the lead of the Mercedes.
Getting word that Madden Van Venom is going to be your highest seeded driver. He will be auto advancing to that final. And now it is time to determine who is going to be your second and third place finishers here, and which one of those 2 will be advancing to the final to take that battle. So Madden Van Venom, definitely in both Keenan and my eyes, the the driver of the day so far.
Do you have t-shirts? Do you have t-shirts?
T-shirts. So this is then going to be your third place battle with Lee Dodd versus Sism. Both of these drivers are your third place battlers in the C7 and in that Dodge Viper. Really excited to see Lee Dodd working his way up into third place. It's been a rough and tumble competition for him, needless to say, thus far. Finally putting it in here into that third place competition. And Sizem also having a couple of interesting moments, getting that bye run in top 12 and having a very scrappy battle himself. So this is definitely the battle of the bruisers, I would like to say.
Yeah, Lee Dodd, I think the difference though, Ian, Lee Dodd has been cleaning up. I don't want to say he looked rough because that's not true. Lee Dodd just cleaning up his runs as he's been going along today. So we're gonna have to see if he can continue that not being able to think of the word. Let me consult my dictionary here. Continuing that. I'm gonna stop talking.
The English.
Anyone wants some cookies? Where's Chuck? Chuck, help me.
But you are a contractor or employee of Podium eSports officially as of
It doesn't
today.
matter. I can still hang out with him. We can still go for beers and talk about girls and life and cry in each other's arms.
Cisco, isn't Chuck underage though?
That's not true, Cisco. He can't talk. He's a duck, you goober.
Have you seen the Aflac duck? They can very clearly continue talking with him regardless.
They're like
of him saying-
Pokemon. It can only say one thing.
So this is going to be your battle to determine who will be advancing to second, or rather who will be advancing to the final to scrap for first, and who is going to be finishing in the third place position. This is Sizem versus Lee Dodd, the C7 versus Viper. Both drivers set and ready to go. This is it, Keenan.
It is time. This is the big one. We're gonna see who's be moving on to that final to take the fight to Madden. All-American battle, Chevy versus Dodge. V10 versus V8, Group 3 versus Group 3. Kind of a soft entry from that Corvette, but the Dodge looking like he grabbed a little bit too much rumble there. Gonna be opening up a gap. He's gonna have to make up some ground. Oh, one tire over is that
over-angling.
C7, then over-angling, trying to rectify. Again, leaves the door wide open for Lee Dodd to be like, "Did I say I'm here?" He's not from Australia at all. I just can't do a Swedish accent. I don't want to hurt people.
That is fair. That is fair. I'm going to go ahead and reflect on some points that were brought up in Pro 2 that I watched happen multiple times in competition last night. It seems like the lead driver wasn't running a angle and qualifying style run. He was running the runaway, get away, less angle, more speed line. Not a whole lot of angle in inside clip 1, 2, and 3. And the Viper, as a result, really not able to close in that gap because he just wasn't there to begin with, period. So
yep.
I would definitely like to think as far as like an angle score would go, if they're going to be judging the leads based on what a qualifying run is expected to be. That wasn't exactly what you are looking for a judging criteria. I don't think Lee Dodd, if he could throw some style on this one and run the line correctly, he might actually have a little bit of an advantage.
Ian, and you know what? It worked. But it ended up biting him in the backside there because he did go a little bit too fast and drop a tire. So that shallow angle gave him a little bit extra speed, but at what cost? So we're going to be switching positions here. Going to be seeing the Dodge Viper in the lead. V8 powered Chevrolet Corvette giving chase. Team Precision vehicle. And here they go, ladies and gentlemen. Big angle from the Viper. He's going to say, "I see what you tried to do in your lead, but I'm not that guy." Slow transition from the Viper. Going to be able to give all the closing the gap, but look, Dodd is on a mission right now. Big angle from that Viper. The door is open for the Corvette, though. Closed up a ton of gap, but Ian.
What a lead.
What a lead, my boy.
Goodness me. You're going to go ahead and see it on your screens here in the side-by-side. The comparison lead for lead is night and day. Just so much style, angle, and smooth pouring of the transitions as well for Lee Dodd. He's not running the shallower line. He's running the, hey, here's all the angle, here's all the style. I'm absolutely putting it down like I would in qualifying right now, trying to put down that 100-point qualifying run. Just loads and loads of style for that Viper in the lead. The C7, yes, definitely a lot closer in chase, but he definitely had a little bit better of a chaseable lead, I would like to think, from the judging eye.
Yeah, I adore the fact that he said, "You know what? I see what you tried to do in your lead run. Let me just not do that at all." All he had to do was put down a safe, consistent run. But he said, "You know what? I'm ready for Madden," because he's going to be moving on into our final. But that is not the last that we see of Team Precision Sizem. We're going to be seeing him grab third place. Congratulations, my friend. Running through that top 24 bracket, going to be seeing himself grab a bronze medal here, our opening round of the Gaming Drifting Series here at Tokyo Expressway on Gran Turismo Sport. Again, thank you to the near 60 people joining us right now for some of the best drifting action. Ian, we almost had as much viewers as Gran Turismo today.
And it's really, really good to see you guys coming out in droves and supporting the Gaming Drift Series. If you like what you're seeing over here from Podium eSports, be sure to hit that follow button. All kinds of esports action is set and ready to go for you here today, and potentially even the continuation of the Gaming Drift Series as they work their way through this season. We absolutely love the support you guys are having for this series, and yeah, Keenan, we're seeing some really, really good drifting. The viewers out here are being absolutely rewarded with this final two. Now, Keenan, we need to talk about this for a second here, okay?
Yes.
Stylistically speaking, Madden Van Venom and Lee Dodd, if Lee Dodd can throw down another lead like we just saw here, they almost match up identical as far as style goes.
Ian, I picked Madden immediately. I'm gonna go against that pick and go for. I'm hoping he's Swedish. I'm hoping the flag isn't some sort of ironic thing. I'm gonna go for our Swedish man, Lodad, for the sole fact that he has exhibited that he can throw that big angle and have those stylish leads, but can also chase. That is the point of that we have not seen Madden be as strong. His leads, I think, are better than Lee Dodd's, but I think Lee Dodd going up against himself, ladies and gentlemen, mirror match. I think that Lee Dodd is the better overall package between these two guys, but anything can happen. It is the final.
This is the final Madden Van Venom versus Lee Dodd. Madden will be leading for the first one, and Lee Dodd will be giving chase. Dodd very aggressive on the angle, and oh, there is the aggression for the lead as well. Huge angle out of that AMG in the lead position. Looks like Dodd was not really there in the proximity, kind of losing out. Over angles just ever so slightly. Trying to close it back in.
Right there, though.
Closing in on the proximity for the end. You were absolutely right, Keenan. Lee Dodd trying to show for it in the second half of the run, but Madden Van Venom once again, just when you started counting him out, Keenan.
I saw sparks, man. I saw sparks. I'll eat my words if he ends up pulling this off. Everyone's kind of been doing little flicks, but it's so, I don't know if it's just the car or the way he's driving, but it's so stylish from that lead position. And Dodd wasn't ready for it. It didn't look like he was prepared at all. It just was like, uh-oh, and then lost a lot of ground, which is where Madden has been really, like, where his strong suit for that first corner is. But, Ian, are we going to be able to see the speed from that McLaren Mercedes SLR to be able to keep up with this GT3 Group 3 Dodge Viper?
Gotta believe that if Madden wants to keep it in on the door, he's gonna maybe have to adjust his style a little bit in that chase position. We've seen it before, though. He definitely knows how to do it. He doesn't necessarily need to pour on that angle and do that 90 degrees between 1 and 2 like we've been seeing the entirety of this tournament out of him. Ladad, though, no slouch. You cannot sleep on this man. He's also got a really, really solid lead in that back pocket. If he can put it down once again, this could be a very interesting second half of this battle. Grand final action between Ladad versus Madden Van Venom off the 40 roll bend for what may be the final battle of round number 1 here at Tokyo Expressway. There's the initiation for Dodd. Lots of angle, maybe showing out a little bit, but trying to start pulling away. But oh, Madden is not letting it happen at all. Gets very aggressive.
Oh, wow, he's there.
The power alley in on the door, pushes in on it. Aggression and contact being made. Dodd slowing down a little bit. More punts being made. It looks like he's still going, Keenan.
Let's get the kills
punts between 3 and 4. The Dodd not phased by and continues going through the course. But how do we judge that, though? What are the judges going to have to say about that battle? I liked it, though. That was super, super good to see. That chase was super aggressive, kept up absolutely no problem.
Madden is literally trying to make me sound like the dumbest person on Twitch.tv right now. Caught right up to Ladad, and up a little bit of contact. It looked, though, Ian, like Ladad was going to drop one tire off. Looked like he was going to go off, then cut some speed, and then it was not ready for that. Ended up making a little bit of contact. But what I liked, ladies and gentlemen, is it looked like because of that contact, Dodd was going to over-rotate. And Venom went, oh, don't worry about it. I got you. I'll help you out. And pushed him through the rest of the course to make sure he didn't spin. Like, you see like he starts to lose a bit of line. Looks like he's over-angling. And then he gets into him again to make sure he gets out to that outer zone. I love that. I love that. I don't know if that's what happened, but in my mind, that's what happened.
It does kind of look like Dodd may have been pushing out beyond that white line if he kept up his trajectory, Keenan. I think you're absolutely right on that. It seems like he just kind of slows it on down to not run out to that white line right about there on the replay. And yeah, that's when the contact is being made, just maybe an inconsistent lead. And maybe the contact not going to be giving fault to the chase driver. But again, guys, we're not the judges here. The judges are going to be looking through this thoroughly to determine a winner. And if we do have a winner, oh, we do not have a winner. One more time has been called between Lee Dodd and Madden Van Venom. Oh, baby.
It's Pro 2 battles from last night all over again. Spam this B to help LZ, am I right, boys? I got one joke, and that's the one. Oh my god, I can't, man. The whole thing I like to about One More Times is not that, oh my god, they're going again, but now they have a chance to learn each other a little bit. You know, Ladad is going to be able to anticipate. He has on-track experience against that big entry we can see from the McLaren Mercedes. And I want to give a little props to for Madden going this far in a road car. This really haven't seen a road car in a while. It's been GT4, GT3s so far.
Yeah, he's definitely been taking what I would call, I'm not going to call that car itself to be off meta, but the meta does seem to be that GR3 car. You are right. Lots of guys out here running that GR3, and Madden's like, well, you guys can go ahead and do that. But it seems to me that maybe the street car has just a little bit more angle.
Got
and
a big tire in the back
pocket. Oh, absolutely.
Big tire in the back of that car, and Ian, it's more down to if he's comfortable in it, why would you do anything else? You know, why would you subject yourself to I got to run a Group 3 because everyone else is running a Group 3, and I was worried that his downfall would be his lack of speed, but as we saw in his follow, that didn't really seem to be a problem. I don't know if there was a hidden hiccup from Ladad that we didn't see, but two very well-rounded drivers. Gonna have to see Ladad give a little bit more pressure in his lead and kind of stay with him in his chase. Venom gonna have to clean it up just a little bit himself.
So this is it then for the grand final. One more time was called. Both of these drivers are going to go ahead and point on another show for you drivers and spectators out there in Twitch land. They get support here as the final battle is back underway, and oh my goodness, Venom throwing down that angle, style, speed, consistency every single time. This time Dot is definitely here in the chase position, getting super aggressive, trying to get on the door, but maybe pushes out a little bit wide from inside clip number 4, pushes in aggressive for the second half of the course. Much better and much more present chase this time for Dodd. And once again, Madden just being the machine up front in this AMG.
Yeah, much better chase from Ladad. That's something that I expected from the first time. Like I said, Ian, I think he was maybe just, you know, you can watch him pull that entry and lose that speed and on stream or in the game, but to experience it on track is completely different. But now that he has that experience, he was ready for it. Didn't end up losing all that time. Only really lost time, I think, in between the double apex, and it just I have to watch that again. Just a little bit of wavering from both those guys on that outer zone with the white line. Again, that white line, everyone's scared of it, and we want to talk about as well really quickly that McLaren Mercedes grabbing a little bit of rumble as well. A little bit of that painted rumble strip, which is not allowed for the lead driver. So for any mistake that Ladad made, which I think was only just losing him a tad, might be evened out by the fact that Madden went over on that rumble strip. But are we going to see the Ladad from his previous lead, or are we going to see the one that got him into the final? That is going to be the key here.
All those answers and more here in just a couple of seconds as the second half of this battle is set and rolling now. OMT run number 2, Ladad versus Madden Van Venom. Here we go off the roll, and initiation for Dodd. He's going to throw on the angle this time, absolutely pouring it on through inner clip 1 and 2. Transitions for 3, hits it beautifully, grabs a little bit that rumble, however, not there in chase. Is Madden Van Venom, can't bring it in, starts to be aggressive later on in the run. This time a much smoother lead for Dodd through that open section, not over the white line, no checkups. Not quite there on proximity is Vanton in chase.
Ian,
Boy, this is going to be an interesting call now.
It is, Ian, but that's what you want to see from a women's time battle. I think both of them had cleaned up significantly. You know, you see, I think Venom lost it like right from the initiation. Maybe wasn't there on the 50 roll, got gapped a little bit, then spent the whole run playing catch up. Dodd just robotic in that lead position, maybe hitting the outer zone, maybe like a hair too late, flirting with disaster with that wall as well on the exit. But Madden just not there from initiation like Ladad was. The perk of that, though, is he was able to transition a bit quicker and a bit more consistent and gain back up to that Viper, but he only got there right at the end of the run.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wait for the chat to fade away a little bit before we pay this away, but a decision has been made. If we can please get a couple of you drivers out there to go ahead and push forward that decision. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first off, in third place a very, very solid drive. Give it up for Sism in that C7 Corvette. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your winner of round number 1 absolutely earned it.
Well deserved.
Absolute scrap. And hey, Keenan, you have never announced a winner before. This is all you, baby. Get it.
And for the first round at Tokyo Expressway in the Gaming Drift Series presented by Podium eSports, we have Madden Van Venom in the McLaren Mercedes taking the win for Team 666. An excellent job, Ian. Those lead runs, those stylish lead runs were the catalyst for his win today. I believe he was present in the chase, but the lead runs were just, he was in a class of his own.
Yeah, it has to be the lead for lead difference. Madden Van Venom was just on another level in the lead. In contrast to different drivers that we have seen in other series, it's like a combination of Chelsea Denofa's style, the consistency of like JSI Mystified in ESCA. He's just like almost a perfect package to where like he has that one specific style that he is super good at, but at the same time, he has that adaptability that not a lot of drivers at the top level have. Those are things that you need to have to compete at this level and do it in such a consistent way. So congratulations to Madden Van Venom, your winner. And Lidad finishes second. Unfortunate way to end here, getting so close to the top of the podium, but that is nothing to shake a stick at. He was definitely one of the drivers that was taking it to Van Venom, unlike anybody else had been doing so far today. Huge props to Lidad grabbing your second place finish.
That's a tough loss, Ian. You know, like you never want to lose, especially in the finals, but Ladad didn't really do anything wrong. It's not like he, oh no, I went a tire over, oh I, overcorrected, or this would happen. Madden just drove him in the lead position, unfortunately. Nothing for Ladad to be disappointed about. He's going to have to come out of this with the silver medal and hang his head high. But your winner from Team 666, Madden Van Venom.
All right, well then we're gonna go ahead and step aside for just a couple of short moments here on Podium eSports. When we come back, winner interviews with Madden Van Venom, got Ladad over here, and we also potentially be grabbing Sism here for your interviews of the podium. All this and more when we return here for round number 1's continuing coverage at Tokyo Expressway of the Gaming Drift Series. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. back to our continuing coverage of the Gaming Drift Series round number 1 at the Tokyo Expressway, and we have concluded today's battling action. For those of you who may have just joining us, your winner, Madden Van Venom, with a very super just incredible impressive drive. There's no words to describe what this man can pull off in a game like this, where it's not very easy to throw that kind of angle consistently, and doing it time and time again every single run. Massive props to him. Unfortunately, however, he is not able to join us for an interview today, as he apparently does not have a microphone. But on the other side of that spectrum, we've actually grabbed Ladad, your second place finisher, a very close second place finish for him, needless to say. In just a couple of short seconds, we'll be grabbing him up here in the booth. I believe we are now joined by Ladad, your second place finisher today here in the Gaming Drift Series in that Viper. And Ladad, gotta say, first off, congratulations on such an impressive drive here, working your way through what was a very scrappy bit of competition throughout the entirety of its course, but falling just a little bit short, unfortunately, of that top spot, but definitely taking it to him through and through. How was your round? How would you describe your performance today? And do you think that this could be indicative of what kind of performance we're going to be expecting out of you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I felt a bit sketchy in the beginning, and as the competition progressed, I felt way more comfortable, both leading and chasing. So I felt like my last battle was definitely the best one. So, and I hope I can do at least this good in the following competitions.
Noticing from your car, it definitely seems to be somewhere in the middle between like a speed and angle car. With your style, where would you say that you fall on that spectrum? Were you more of a style driver, or do you like to lean more towards like that speed and pulling away from the guy in chase?
I'm usually like in between. I try to adapt to my competitors. So if they use a lot of angle, I try to use a lot of angle on my lead if I start to chase him. So I try to analyze what they do and almost like not copy, but similar style to theirs.
And so close to grabbing that top spot on the podium. What do you think it might have taken to take down Venom? Venom looking pretty strong. You were definitely there, but what parts of your battle do you think it all went wrong?
I think in my chase, I just lost him a little bit by that white line in almost the final corner. I think that was like the factor that made me lose, I think. But other than that, I don't know. I think it was a good race.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive to see the driving out of you, Venom, and everyone in that top 6 was so fun to watch. Us over here at Podium thoroughly enjoyed this, and we do hope sometime in the future we get the chance to do this with you once again. Dodd, second place finish here today. I got to imagine with that drive that you had today, we're going to be seeing you a lot more often as the season goes on. Before we send it away, do you have anybody you need to thank? Who do you have with you in that team that makes it all happen for Dodd?
I want to thank Samuel Brolin. He makes all of our liveries. They look very good. He also practices a lot with me, so I get to know the track a little bit more. And of course my team leader, Will, Sue Ransom, a great driver, and everyone else supporting me. So, yeah.
All right, a super impressive second place finish for Ladad here today at Tokyo Expressway. Congratulations. We hope to see you again in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and with that, your second place finish interview has concluded, and Keenan has caught up with your third place finisher today in Sism. Let's get to the bottom of that right now. What do you say?
Yeah. How wrong are we?
It's Sim.
I knew it!
Oh! I'm glad we didn't take the bet. Congratulations, you win the cookie. All right, Keenan, take it away.
2 points for Gryffindor. Let's go. Sim, with your third place finish again, opening round is going to be a good way to start the season with your 8 rounds. What do you think that was missing to try to take down Ladad and move into that final? And how was the course for you? Because there was a little bit, we did see a little bit of issues with people banging the wall, dropping a tire. Really interested to see how somebody who is a little bit more experienced with the game what they thought about the course as well.
Yeah, Tokyo is a very tight track, so my car's more set up for speed. So when we got up to that second last corner where the line is, I think on my chase run with a little dot, I dropped a tire, so I try to slow down as much as I can to get to that next clip, and that really allowed him to caught up. So I guess I could also improve on my chase as well. Wasn't that on his door against Ladod, so that's something I can improve on.
And looking forward to Autopolis. Autopolis is going to be our first real life course. Again, a course that sees a lot of action in real life. Cool, me saying the same thing twice. Is there going to make any changes to the car? Again, you said your car set up a little bit more for speed. Are you looking forward to, try to maybe set it up for a little bit more angle? Or are you just going to double down and keep it being the rocket that it is right now? Because it was very quick from what we could see.
I'm probably more used to speed, so I won't really be making too many changes. But I am looking forward for that track. It's very nice, technical, very tight as well. Should be a good track.
And again, you did grab third place, and it's a great start to your season, especially from the points. Is there anything that you can take away from today? Something you did specifically in a battle, or maybe a battle that you had with somebody that you can keep your head alive from?
I'm definitely going to be focusing a lot more on my chases now. Going to do some practicing on that, but that's something I can improve on.
Well, thank you, dude. Really excited to start getting to know you guys throughout the rest of the season, and excellent drive from you today. And again, same thing. If there's anyone that you want to say thanks, give a shout out to. Now's your time.
I just want to say thanks to all the guys at Precision. So we got Ghost, Big Ted, and Brock. Cheers to those guys. Cheers to Nick for running the GDS competition, and cheers to all the other competitors because that was a good race. Thank you.
All right, well, then that was your third place finisher. And actually, before we move on to Nick, we do have the admin of GDS here set to talk with us here in a minute. But actually, I want to grab somebody a little bit different. Usually, we don't talk to people on this side of the spectrum. I'm really curious to hear the thoughts of a different driver. We actually have Dwinder sitting down here, able to join us for an interview really quick. I just want to grab his thoughts on today's competition because yes, he did go down in top 12. But after what I was seeing in top 24, it was definitely curious to me as to how he got in position. So this is Jalinder. He was up in the top 12. He did advance from 24, but unfortunately bowing out with it was a strong drive, but unfortunately got a little bit outplayed there by Opaloo with a really aggressive chase. But that battle, it produced one of our favorite follows of this competition. Unfortunately, you were on the receiving end of that follow spectrum, but it was still very exciting to see. Jalinder, it was a really good win you had in top 24, but unfortunately it kind of did fall apart there in 12. To walk us through preparing for this round and what it took to go into that battle like that, because gosh, that was a really impressive drive out of Opaloo.
Oh, thank you. Well, for preparing, it was a little, I came in a little late. I had to work out some things to get the money and stuff to be able to enter in. So I didn't have all the time as a lot of the guys did to compete and practice for it. I do believe I had enough time though, and I just didn't build up to my capabilities. I know I could have done a lot better, obviously. My run, well, especially my follow was a little sloppy, but I'm happy with where I landed.
Yeah, just kind of want to grab your perspective then about Gran Turismo as a drifting game in general. Well, what made you decide this was going to be the game you wanted to pursue esports drifting? Because it's definitely it's not necessarily one of the more prevalent drift scenes out there from the stuff that we've been seeing from time to time. But you guys out here in the Gran Turismo scene are definitely throwing down big. What are your thoughts on this style of drift in general? And is this where you started? Or have you started somewhere else? What has been the path for Jalinder to get here?
This is where I've always been going to Gran Turismo, starting in GT5 for the most part. Really, there was a competition called Virtual Drift Circuit in GT5 and GT6 that was really what pursued me to start drifting and get to the level of esports. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud that starting from GT5 and GT6, I've been able to get to the point to where I am now. It's definitely a more challenging game to drift on than Forza, for example. One there are complications because it's not really a drifting game. Drifting isn't really supposed to be a part of it. It's really all about racing. So you're doing what the game doesn't want you to do, if that makes sense.
It's still very cool to see you guys competing at this level and doing it so well, though. So I really do need to give a tip of the hat to you and really everyone we saw here today. I would imagine this probably is not going to be the last time we see Jalinder over here with this very particular series. You know, do you have your aspects looking forward to the rest of the season as like positive in your eyes? Do you think you have what it takes to maybe put yourself on the top of the podium here in the coming weeks?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Autopolis, one of my favorite tracks. I've been playing on this track forever, and I'm very excited for the next round.
It was definitely been a absolute joy getting the chance to talk to you and see really just a side of drift that we have never been exposed to before, and we absolutely loved it. It was riveting. We had a ton of great feedback from the chat, and it was really great seeing you guys throw down. So really, thank you so much for taking this time to talk with us. And before we send it off, you know, anybody you got to thank before we move on here to closing out this broadcast?
I'd like to thank my members and VDC for supporting me and helping me train to get to this point. I'd also like to thank Nick for even setting up the competition. GDS is a great idea, and I want to thank you guys for live streaming.
Nah, it's been fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. That was Jalinder. May have seen himself out early in this competition, but you're probably going to see him again in the future for the continued rounds of GDS. And with that, guys, we have a quick word in actually with Nick, the person he was just speaking of. He is the admin of this series. Nick making all of the logistics happen, making it all happen behind the scenes. And Nick, round one in the rearview mirror now. Your winner, Madden Van Venom. Well, in your eyes, how did this round go? Because that was very, very exciting to see, Nick.
Hi everyone. Yeah, you know, this is, well, first and foremost from me and everybody over in GDS administration part. Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone over at Podium eSports for this amazing coverage. Everything was awesome. But as far as the round goes, the Tokyo, as a lot of people noticed, is a very short, very tight track, very, very technical, not a lot of room for error. But overall, you know, the best will always win, and a lot of these guys knew that even though the track is short, everybody likes it because to most of the guys, this track brings a resemblance to the old D1 GP with Odaiba line, if you can remember. So everybody loves it, and you know, at the end of the day, Venom just came on top. Very consistent driver, had in the top 5 drivers for the past 2 seasons, so he's definitely had something to prove, and there he is.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a very impressive drive out of him, and especially everyone who worked their way into the final 6 as well. Very good quality battles we were seeing so far today, Nick. And honestly, I do need to give the tip of the hat from all of us here at Podium eSports to all of your drivers, all your staff. You guys put it together, and the run time of this competition as well. Like, you'll see other competitions go 4, 5, 6 hours, and you guys have just absolutely dialed down to a T how to make this work. So seriously, congratulations for everything you got going on over here, man. This is
Thank you.
Super fun to be a part of, and we hope we get the opportunity to work with you again in the future.
For sure.
We see this returning schedule for the remaining of the year here, Nick. What do you think is going to be the highlight for the rest of the season? What are you looking forward to?
To me personally, and I know to my guys, my admins guys over at GDS, Autopolis so far is one of the most exciting rounds and lines to run, because some people see it has a similar layout as Formula Drift Los Angeles, the streets of LA. The first round that they do, you have a really long initiation with like a 90-degree turn, then a big sweeper, and then a transition right into a hairpin. So that track has all for you to test as a skill. That would be, in my opinion, one of the most amazing rounds to watch. Not only compete, but to watch for sure.
Yeah, I can see that being a very fun and dynamic course. So you got all kinds of aspects of what makes drift good, all packed into one package there from the sounds of things. So looking forward then to Autopolis here in just a couple of weeks' time. And anybody out there in Twitch land who wants to become a part of the Gaming Drift series, what do they need to do to join you guys, Nick?
It's very simple. Our major social media is on Instagram right now at GD Series. So if you just find us on Instagram, our Discord link is right in our bio. Just hit that, and as soon as you join our Discord, you automatically can register. We have the registration form in there, all the rules and regulations, the schedule, everything is in there. So it's easy as that, just one click.
All Cool. Well, then, if you guys want that opportunity, feel free to follow that link. As he mentioned before, guys, couple of weeks time to the next round comes up, and we would love to see all of you guys out there becoming a part of this incredible series. Nick, thank you so much for putting this together. Thank you for opening our eyes to this side of Gran Turismo Drift. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we hope we get the chance to commentate some more events in the future for you, man.
Likewise, guys. Likewise. Thank you very much again. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Well, that was Nick, your series administrator. And Keenan, before we move on to close this broadcast out, I just need to hear your thoughts on this, because in my opinion, this absolutely delivered. The excitement was just at a level that I was baffled by. A lot of these drivers, super good at a game. As you mentioned before, that is not necessarily the easiest thing on the planet to drift, and how they were doing it so consistently and good is just at another level. Keenan, what are your thoughts on this, my guy?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. The only time I've seen competitive or any sort of tandem drifting on GT Sport has been random clips on Instagram, things I've come across on YouTube, and it's not been entirely great. So I heard that this was a project that we were going to take on, came into it with an open mind. I love competitive drifting, so the platform is just kind of irrelevant to me. And absolutely, and I'm not just saying this because everyone's here, blew every expectation I had out of the water. I got genuinely excited. There's an excellent show of skill. And this, as everyone said, this is a bit of a tighter technical track. I cannot wait what these guys can do at speed with this game and this physics engine, because that's, we're really going to see separate the men from the boys in terms of skill. I'm very excited to see how this series goes going forward with all 8 rounds, and I'm a fan. I think it made me a fan in one round and 2 or 3 hours of trying it for myself. I really respect what these guys are out here doing, and they're trying to push their scene, and that's I resonate with that, and I just really enjoyed myself today.
And if there is any word to be spoken of the passion and the drive of all these competitors and whatnot, we are now 30 minutes beyond the end of the final battle, and I'm still in the lobby where the tournament was taking place. There are drivers left, right, and center just littering this track right now with drifts, with skid, with rubber. They're throwing down chunks. They're still going at it. They've probably been practicing for months for this tournament, and they're still drifting, Keenan. There is so much passion with this group, and I really do thoroughly enjoy what they have put together, and I really hope to see these guys go far.
Yeah, and then another thing too, last little takeaway, everybody had fun. It is a competitive environment. Everyone really is. At the end of the day, you want to win. You want to take it seriously. But everyone lost with dignity and held their heads up high. There was no sore winners either. It was a lot of sportsmanship, a lot of camaraderie. And like you said, Ian, after the battle, we had people saying, "Hey, can I battle the winner? Hey, can we go up against this? You guys want to grab doors?" I love that. You know what I mean? When it comes to other tournaments, you especially if you're making it to near the end, you're like, "Oh, I'm exhausted. I want to get off." These guys are all out here having fun, and I love that. And I'm really glad to take the first steps to being a part of this community.
Absolutely. Well, guys, on behalf of myself, Podium eSports, Keenan Kusin, Cisco Scaramuza, everyone over here at the Gaming Drift Series, it has been an absolute honor, pleasure to bring you this exciting drift action on Gran Turismo Sport. That's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Lots of more exciting Podium eSports action still left to come here. If you guys have loved what you've seen, hit that follow button. They've got races all week on iRacing, and we're actually going to be back here for more drift action as well on October the 5th. Not necessarily on this channel, but the Esports Drift Association's Twitch channel, hosted by Podium eSports on production for their grand final. So if you guys love drifting action, be sure to keep your eyes out for that. But once again, guys, on behalf of everyone from GDS, staff of Podium eSports, and myself included, it has been an honor. We will see you guys in just a couple of nights for the next round of competition, or wherever you may see over here on Podium eSports on the iRacing side of things. I believe Cisco will have schedules and whatnot up on his website and on social media. So take care, guys. We will see you on the other side.